What's up? Welcome back to my channel, or for the first time if you're new, I'm Sylvan, and today I'm going to be reacting to Hugo's EP, My Curse, My Fate. Destin et malédiction. Probably a horrible pronunciation on that last bit, but whatever. Zenless is continuing to be predictably unpredictable when they release things. I was not at all expecting this. I was expecting, if anything, it to be a teaser, but here we have his EP. But nonetheless, I am very excited for this, so feel free to like and subscribe if you enjoy the video, leave a comment on your thoughts, and let's get into this. Ooh, him in the, like, hangar. Yeah. Ooh. Yo, okay. A more artistic embodiment of his whole trip. I'm gonna focus on visuals for this first go around. Huh. Ooh, I'm loving the bass. The art also is insane here. Okay. And is that supposed to be Vivian? Or is that his sister? Oh, it's probably his sister, actually. The one person who was good to him in the family. God, visually this is insane. The father? Ooh. I'm loving the vibe of the song. Ooh, a POV shot? Yeah, and then coming into Mockingbird. But the original Mockingbird. Aww! I'm loving that we're getting to see some of this. This is just his entire life story. Yeah.
A curse that fate branded him with.
I love that they're seeding in the lines from the story.
By God, if it ever comes down to it, you must be the one.
I wanted to believe you were different. But now I know you never changed.
And then he's on strings again. He was free for a time. Flip a coin, obey or rebel. The demon form, the inner demon. I love that this song is this inner turmoil. The grayed out, blurry images of the past. The high road or the low road. Will he break free? He does. I shall shatter the rules of the arrogant god. Oh, this looks so good. Then he has the scythe. Okay. Ooh, that looks so good. Destiny bows at my feet. The red and the purple. I take control of my own fate. Life or death, I own my fate. Yo, that looks amazing. Oh, it's not over? And then he embraces his past, his inner demon, his scared child. I love this. It is literally his life encapsulated down into a song. At the very least, the majority of his life. It does not extrapolate on the period of his life post his fallout with Lycon, it just jumps to this literal inner demon fight, so we don't see him meeting Vivian and such. And literally this is all just within this weird mental trip he's in, as he's tied up just in this shipping container or whatever. But we start with the framing of that, showing that he is here, showing what we're getting into. He says feels like it's kicking in, and we start then with his mother, with a much more dramatic rendition of what we had in the story itself, of her trying to gouge out his gray eye. That fundamentally is what this EP is a more dramatic rendition of everything we saw in this inner battle of the self, which was one of my favorite parts of the story, so it's perfect for this kind of thing. The EPs often are a dramatic retelling of the character's past, or a portion of it, so this is just perfect pickings for such a thing. It also realistically serves to give something to the people who weren't necessarily happy with the portrayal of that, as this is that more dramatic, less slow pace version of that. It's quick, it's snappy, it gets a lot of it in there, and it just works really well. But so his mother goes in with the knife to gouge out his eye, and then the song begins. We have a coin that has a broken tear in the middle as the lyrics come in. Lowly like dust, a life worthless as weeds. That is where he began. A bastard child, an imperfect child, born to a mother who has nothing to give him, whether that be love or material anything. He was worthless as weeds. But then we go through that crack into this art style, surrounded by these thorns, as we go in, a mark of sin forever unbreakable. He is from this twisted family, the Ravenlock family. He holds their bloodline and the potential of their sins. He kneels before a coffin, surrounded by people on puppet strings, members of his family and others of high society, all people playing their parts, wearing masks, playing to the tune of those above them, and they loom above him, mocking him. As we see into the coffin and see it is a young girl inside, his sister, the one that he was framed for killing, that his siblings used to try to get him out. False accusations, cursed words, they pierce like thorns. They accuse you of not being worthy of this family. They accuse you of killing your sister, the one person who ever cared for you. And it tears him apart at the time. But we go back to when his sister was still alive. What else can I do? She offers to share some chocolate, a cookie, something like that. And we can see as the warmer colors come in and some smiles come to their faces that there is a warmth here. There is a bit of happiness. But the lyrics point to the reality of the scenario. To live is to be abandoned and abused. That is what his mother did, and it is what his siblings hope their father will do for him. They abuse him, and they wish for their father to abandon him. The only exception is his sister. And so there is a time where things are better. We see her protecting him from those who wear masks, her tending to his wounds. But still, to live is just to suffer day after day. These times did not last. She is gone. We see one of the masked siblings looking down with their fake smiles at these two butterflies. I am not the cause, so why should I bear the consequences? At this point in his life, there is nothing he has done to deserve any of what he has wrought. He has suffered due to the choices and actions of his mother and of his siblings and of his father. There is no reason to any of this. There is nothing that he has done to deserve it. But he is not the only one who bears consequences. To reach him, to remove him, his siblings went after his sister. He is the darker butterfly, while his sister is the lighter one. And so the siblings tear her apart. And we return to the coffin. Some are born noble, others as worms. Is this truly heaven's decree? I have seen both sides of cruelty. I have seen what it is like to have nothing and to be given nothing and to be blamed for having nothing. And I have seen the cruelty of the rich, of the nobles. No one has chosen how they are born, and yet it defines everything about them. Is this truly the intention of the gods? Would God have designed such a world, such a cruel reality? And so as he stews in this question, in this despair, his siblings continue to point, to accuse, and he is forced into a position where he must choose. He must choose a path, the high road or the low road. This is a choice he is constantly faced with every moment of his life? Will he go beyond the cruelty? Will he try to stand above it and find a better path? Or will he drop to their level, kill just to further your agenda, to make a point, mock those worse off than you, stamp them underfoot if necessary? And much like the previous question, he has another choice. Flip a coin, obey or rebel. Do you give in? Do you accept this lot in life? Do you choose to abide by your position, to be the scum of the family, to be the unwanted wretch? Or do you rebel? Do you scurry away into the darkness to die on your own? Or do you stand up and shout and fight against all of those who would force you down? If I am but a puppet of fate, why give me a script with no hope? If fate is real, if I am but a puppet on a string, what is the point of a story with no hope? He continues to question the pointlessness of this all, even as he is being strung up on the strings, recognizing that he is powerless here. And we see the puppet master, his father, another mask wearer, but the leader of the family, the controller of the family, and a leader in what remains of the world. He is powerless beneath him. There is no hope in this story. And yet, despite there being no hope, there being this destined fate of oblivion, of nothingness, of pure submission to this hopeless reality, he has flipped that coin. He has chosen to rebel. Life or death, I own my fate. He snaps his strings. He does not care whether he lives to see the end of this day. It will be his decision to live or die based on his own decisions. He will not kneel to his father, to his siblings. He will stand on his own, and if that gets him killed, so be it. He has owned his fate. He has rewritten his destiny in doing so. So he runs, and having escaped the home of all of those cruel, cruel people, he is now left to struggle in the dirt. Life is like passing clouds in this time. Impermanent by nature, very ephemeral, and yet there is warmth and happiness he finds. But now the question becomes, do I deserve it? Do I deserve any warmth or happiness? I am a bearer of sin. I come from a family of sinners. I have been scum my entire life. Is it possible to be more than that? He has chosen to decide his own fate, but is it possible to decide on a fate that has happiness, or just one of pure rebellion? Before him are two people who would say yes, there is hope, there is happiness, there is warmth. There is a place of belonging no matter how unconventional. A family that is more of a family than anything you have had. And so Jack offers up a coin, the same kind of coin as the beginning. But this one is not broken. Not yet, at least. And we see that not everything is perfect. There is more warmth and happiness here than there ever was in his life, but it is far from perfect. They don't have much money. He bickers with Lycon constantly, yet they are not literally at each other's throats. You are not walking on eggshells every moment of every day. You are not a puppet. Life's whip mercilessly lacerates every soul. No one can escape the cruelty of reality. Life is to suffer, after all. I may have chosen my fate, my destiny, but no destiny is beyond the cruelty of life. It is merciless. And yet he flourishes in the middle of the night as a phantom thief. We see the joy he takes in it. After all, no matter how merciless the cracking whip of life is, it occasionally tosses a coin or two. There are those moments of happiness, of warmth, of hope. No matter how much life beats you down, as long as you are looking for them, there will be those moments. And yet this place of comfort, of warmth, of happiness, a home, is not as simple as he would hope. He does not have the complete trust of his mentor, and that is passed on to his closest friend. There is a curse, a bearing of sin that flows through his lineage. His very existence is a sin. That is what he comes to in this moment. When he hears that the only people in his life who truly welcomed him keep their distance and their caution and are ready to put him down if necessary, it breaks him. It reminds him the cruelty of life, of his lineage, that he cannot escape the sin of family. Fate branded this curse into him. He may now be writing his own fate, but prior to that decision, he was branded by his old fate. Whether or not he can escape that is unclear. It is not guaranteed to grow, but that seed is there. At any moment, he could become as evil and sinful and wrathful as those who he detests. And so he must be faced with the realization that his only true friend is just waiting for him to slip up, for him to make a mistake, and then they will be at each other's throats just like his old family. And so we jump forward to the tragedy of the misunderstanding between Lycon and Hugo. Hugo has accepted and embodied this fact about himself, this false fact, but fact about himself, that he is destined to become evil, to become a sinner, and so he accepts it willingly. When someone accuses him of evil, of sin, he does not retort them even when it is false. And this leads to the rift between Lycon and him. And so, with that bond broken, the inner demon comes out. It pulls the strings out once more, the ones he had broken, and lays them atop him. And it's in this moment where he comes back onto the strings, he is left to that question once more, that decision once more. Do you pick the high road or the low road? Do you accept this innate evil reality of your very being, or do you try to become something more? But now there is also the voice of the inner demon, of the scared, angry child, tempting him towards lashing out at everyone. It's what he desires, after all. If he could just get back at everyone who has wronged him, that would make him happy, wouldn't it? That's what he desires. Revenge, justice, right? Or does he desire something more? Something more true? Will you obey or rebel? It is repeated once more, but it takes on a different meaning, I think, in this moment. There's two possibilities. One is the perspective of the high road. Do you let yourself obey this dark inner voice of yours, this inner demon that tempts you towards your basest desires? Do you obey the part of you that wishes to satisfy your darkest desires, but will leave you as a broken husk at the end? Or do you rebel against that inner nature, that inner sin, that seed of evil, and try to find a better path? But then there's also the interpretation of it from the low road. Will you continue to pointlessly obey all of those who tell you that you should be better, that morality is important, that you can't just go around killing everyone you hate? Or will you rebel against everything? Will you lash out at everyone who has wronged you? Rebel against life itself? Which one will you do? And that is where the confusion comes in. That is where the complicated nature of it all lies. His inner demon shows him what it would be like to hunt down and kill all of his siblings. Of course, they're all already gone, but nonetheless, it is a temptation that is there. It is a part of him. Actually, adding in the backing vocal of "Don't be so naive," given that the last one was from the inner demon's perspective, perhaps the obey or rebel is truly just from the outside perspective, not the inner demon perspective. Don't be so naive to think that you can actually escape this cruel cycle. The only thing you can do to satisfy yourself is to lash out, to seek revenge. There is no high road. You exist to suffer, but perhaps you can lessen your own suffering by making others suffer more. That is what the inner demon says to him, as it makes him dance on puppet strings. Severing one's strings is just a puppet's delusion. A puppet cannot live, cannot exist, cannot move without its strings. So a puppet that believes it can sever its strings and be free is tantamount to death. It is delusional. There is no way that one can be free and live. Life is cruelty. Life is suffering. That is what he begins to slip into. It is what his inner demon wishes him to think. Struggle all you want. You'll never be free from these chains. You are so naive. You are so delusional to think you ever escaped these chains, these puppet strings. Your fate is a hopeless one. You cannot write your own fate. You merely are walking this path predestined for you to destroy you. Succumb to your nature, let your Ravenlock blood lead you. The inner demon's thoughts have become the dominant thought. All you have to do is let your Ravenlock blood lead you. The sin within you is inescapable, so why not let it guide you towards a better life? No matter what the price to be paid is, won't you be happier? Won't you be satisfied once you lash out at everyone who has wronged you? But at the very least, regardless of his choice, of his decision, the one thing he knows in this moment is he refuses to let the death knell toll for me. He refuses to die. He refuses to crawl away into the darkness and disappear. He will live, regardless of what form it takes. He beseeches all souls to pray for him, and it's here that he is reinstating his confidence, his belief that he can write his own fate. I believe in myself because I am my own master. I refuse to be on a puppet strings, but I also refuse for the cutting of my strings to be the end of me. All of those in the world that would pray for me, I ask to pray so that I may lead my own life. I believe that I am my own master, therefore I can achieve my goals. I can do what I wish with this life. I do not need to be chained down by delusions or irrational desires. I do not need to be shackled to my past, to my family. Let fate decide. For my will is heaven's will. It returns to the question of, is this cruel reality heaven's will? And the answer is no. This is not correct. This is not the world God envisioned. and I shall make it right. I am the will of God. I shall correct this cruel, false world into what is meant to be. And so, as the inner demon tempts him, the question returns. Will you pick the high road or the low road? Flip a coin, obey or rebel, and he chooses to be free, to rebel. He is rebellion. I shall shatter the rules of the arrogant. Those who stand above me, those who believe themselves better than me from the moment they were born, I shall shatter the world they have created, the false reality they have placed upon the true reality. And he too shall shatter the past that restrains him. He will not give in to the sin of his past, of his family. The seed of evil will never grow. He shall destroy it before it ever sprouts. He shall defy this inner demon. Nothing can control him, not the arrogant elite, and not his inner, terrified, angry child. And so, he battles with himself. He decides whether he goes the high or low road, if he obeys or rebels, and he's taking the high road of rebellion. Destiny bows at his feet. Destiny is nothing against the will of the free. Fate is nothing to those who write their own destinies, to those who are truly free, for those who follow the will of God. From now on, I take control of my own fate. I will never be controlled again by anyone or anything. And so he looks to the defeated inner demon, and the inner demon looks to him. Life or death, I own my fate. I may die on this path, but I will truly be free. And yet he does not make the same mistake as before. He realized he could own his fate before, yet he forgot to set his fate in motion. He stumbled. He was not confident enough. He did not believe in his own will. And so now he sets his fate in motion. Life or death, he sets his fate. Destiny is nothing to him. His family's sins are something to be trampled. And so he breaks free, and everything opens up. The darkness, the gloom, the despair disappears. There is nothing but light. But it is not over. He cannot truly be free until he is a perfect embodiment of himself. He will still be shackled by fate if he denies any portion of himself. And so he faces this angry, aggressive, scared piece of himself and embraces it, welcomes it. He has been afraid, he has been alone, he has been angry his entire life, but that will no longer shackle him. He accepts the anger, the hatred, the sadness, the despair, but does not let it control him. Life or death, he owns his fate. Nothing can shackle him, not even himself. And that is the EP and the entirety of his character. It is the embodiment of who he is. Someone who, after a long, arduous journey, has escaped the shackles of fate and lives by his own will, so that he may reach someday the world as it was meant to be, a life as it is meant to be lived. And I absolutely love this. It's such a good condensation of his character in just a very satisfying visual and auditory package. And of course, I've mainly focused on the narrative and themes and character work, but this also just visually is amazing. There's so many different bits of art style, so many different stylistic choices. Color is amazing. The flow of everything is great. The song is really interesting. It's really fitting for him. But I think I have said most of what I want to say here, so I'm going to leave things here. Feel free to like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. Leave a comment on your thoughts, and I hope you all had a great day. Goodbye.